Hey champs, you are the Master's Kids, and we are back together in this incredible series as we talk about Jesus, His words, and His works. Isn't that amazing? I have a new story for you today. Let me take you back to Jesus' times. During Jesus' times, of course, the world at that time was ruled by Caesar, the Roman Empire. And they had people known as tax collectors because Rome was very emphatic about collecting everybody's taxes. And Caesar made sure that everybody gave their taxes. Jesus talked about it as well. So these guys who went around with a stern face and made sure that everybody paid their taxes, they were called tax collectors. Say tax collectors? Yeah, they were called tax collectors. They weren't very popular. No. People didn't like them. Who wants people to knock on your door and ring your bell at 3 a.m. and get your taxes out of you? And nobody likes that, yeah? So these guys were called tax collectors and nobody liked them. In fact, they were considered corrupt. They were considered unjust. Not only were they brutal, but they were also very unjust because they were, they weren't the ones who calculated how much tax you get. That's not fair. And so they took a whole lot more than they should have. So people just didn't like these guys at all. Anyway, one of these guys, his name was Levi. Yeah, like the guy who wears the jeans, his name was Levi. And he was sitting in his booth. His booth was like a tax collector's booth. And he would sit there and say, okay, everybody line up, pay your taxes, line up now, next, pay your taxes. And without his approval, you can't really enjoy your life very much. So he's sitting over there and Jesus walked up to him. And Jesus strolled past the booth. Levi, what you doing? So I'm collecting taxes. Levi, leave everything. Follow me. And Levi got up, left everything and followed him. He just left the tax booth. He left the line over there of people trying to pay their taxes and he just followed Jesus. He was so happy that Christ had called him to follow him. And he was one of the 12 people that Jesus was going around collecting. Okay, you Matthew, follow me. You follow me. Hey, you follow me. And one of them was Levi. So when he took him and he was walking down towards his house, he says, can you come to my place? I'll throw a party for you. And he went all the way to his house. And that day, Levi threw a big party for him. And the who's who of the town came. All the people who were involved with tax collection and all the friends and the professionals and the connections and the police and everybody. They all showed up over there and they came to the big party which was at Levi's house. And he was obviously very rich. And Jesus was the guest of honor in Levi's house. And a fantastic party was happening. And everybody was having a great time. But in the side, there was some kusar going on. There was some whispering, there was some murmuring going on. On the sides, way out there, as the camera turns and zooms in, you had the disciples of Jesus standing outside, and some Pharisees and scribes, they came up to the disciples and they said, and Pharisees were the religious leaders. They were the guys who were the holy ones. So holy you can't touch them, And they were like, why is he? Because Jesus is a rabbi. He's like a Jewish teacher. He himself is like a religious teacher. So why is he hanging out with these uncool people? Why is he hanging out with these dirty, terrible people, filthy people? Oh, why is he hanging around with this man? He's a religious person. He's supposed to be a holy leader. He's supposed to be someone who's special. He's supposed to be with us. What's he doing with them? As they were still grumbling, Jesus heard them and he said to them, hey, you, come here. Come here. What are you grumbling about? Do you know that it's not the well who need a doctor? It's the sick. It's not those who are well who need a doctor. It's the sick. It's not the righteous that need a savior. It's sinners. So if I don't go to sinners, if I don't go to the uncool, how will they become cool? If I don't go to the sick, how will they become well? If I don't go to the sinners, how can I make them righteous? I have not come for the righteous and the perfect and the cool. I have come for the broken and for the hurting and for the ones who really need me. And that's what Jesus had come to do. Jesus had his perspective right. Jesus knew that it's not hanging out with those people doesn't make him anything less. Hanging out with uncool friends or uncool people in school or uncool people in college doesn't make him anything less. It doesn't make him uncool. He makes them cool. He makes them well. He makes them awesome. People become awesome by hanging out with you. Nobody can take your coolness away from you. You are already a master's kid, and when you hang out with the ones who need you, and you're there for people, and you don't care about what they are like, but you want to make them like Jesus, then you are also like Christ, because that's what Christ came to do. Isn't that amazing? So who are the characters? We got Jesus, we got Levi, we got the Pharisees and scribes, we got the disciples, and they were kusser-pussering among themselves, and they said, why is he hanging out with these horrible people? He said, because they need me. Because they need me. And he wasn't afraid and he wasn't ashamed to be with them because he knew who he was. When you and I know who we are, nobody can take our cool from us. We can give cool to others. We can make others benefit from our lives. Isn't that right? We can lift others up. Why are we here? Why has God sent you and me? Same as Jesus. We are here to help others build a better life. What are you going to do about it? Huh? What are you going to ask God as a result of this story today? Think about it.